Oh, I'm coming out the snake pit for this. King's your rear, in your wear. I'm so fit I don't fit in. And this is the Chaos Edition, not a Cave Edition. All praises due to Nat Turner. Francis Crest Scott. Let's get right into it. Evolutionary trend. Over millions of years, hominid faces evolved from highly pronoptic. Example, Australopithecus. So Australopithecus is pronoptus. To the orthostic structure of modern human Homo sapiens, driven by dietary changes and tool use. Orthosism and prognosticism. Modern human faces are orthostic. Modern human faces is orthostic. Pay attention. Dred Scott versus Stanford, 1857. They use an excerpt called The Natural History of the Pronoptus Race. And we get into that book. That's the ethnology of the Negro or Pronoptus race. Interchangeable. Negro or the Pronoptus race. Here's a Supreme Court case with the studies. This is a PDF. You can get this book for free. Ethnology. That's the ethnic game. That's where you get the word ethnics. Ethnology of the Negro or Pronoptus race. We go to the dictionary. Pronoptus. Number 1, Australian. African Pronoptus. Number 2, European orthostic skull. So we have 3 skull example where the Australian is Pronoptus, the African is Pronoptus, and the European is orthostic. We just read that the modern human is orthostic. Racist application. 19th century writers such as John yada 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 used the term to argue for racial hierarchies, often labeling Irish and black individuals as pronoptus and describing themselves as orthostic. Scientific racism. Proponents of this view claim that the pronoptus race possessed inferior intellectual and moral capacities compared to Indo-Europeans. You see? The Indo-Europeans, so when they play this caste system, noble system, Caucasian systems. These alongside with craniometry, and I don't even know what the fuck that is, were part of the justification for slavery, colonialism, and later the eugenics movement. So this is a skull. Look. Negroid skull excavated, yada yada yada. Nilo-Saharan, Niger, Congo peoples. Note, the mark pronoptism, they talk about the facial protrusion. Look, facial projection. This is common in Nilos and other African Negroes. Pronoptus is common. We have a new word, autapomorphic. This basically means unique features. Autapomorphic traits are unique. That's when they say you have unique features. Derive characteristics found in only one taxon, species, genus, or family within a larger group, distinguishing it from all others, including its closest relatives. So we see at the bottom, you see homoplasty. That's what they talk about convergent evolution when they was talking about all of them developed milk drinking around the same time with no shared ancestry. They just all drink milk, specific people. Here's some examples of that word. Are often used to define a species or distinguish it from closely related relatives, providing clues to unique evolutionary paths, but they do not show that two species share a common ancestor. Hello. Humans, speech, habitual bipedalism, and massive brain, yada, yada, yada. Here's more on that word. It defines a unique organism or group, but does not help establish close relationships between different separate taxa. Distinguishing game. While orthosism reached its modern form in Africa, the evolutionary path involves several key locations and stages. Primary origin, Africa, Homo sapiens. The most complete expression of orthosism appeared during the transition from archaic to modern human. So remember, we are archaic because we're still pronoptus, black people. They are orthognostic. These are the modern caves. Look, fossils dating back shows a remarkably modern orthognostic face paired with an elder elongated brain case. Specimens from the yada yada yada. Look at that. Retracted mid-face. Orthognostic face in East Africa. Regional variation orthognosticism is more frequent in populations from colder regions, Europe and parts of Asia. Cold climate orthognostic face says. Orthognostic face is defined by a vertical profile where the jaw lies directly beneath the cranium. As a distinct, look at that word, autopomorphic trait of modern humans. We just read that word, autopomorphic trait. So this is what separates you. Look, we just had that. Look at the word. A distinctive derived trait that is unique to a specific single terminal taxon, species, genus, or clade. Look at that. New form. This is your new form. Modern today. You didn't exist. You're not archaic. You are not ancient. So look. This is autapomorphic trait of modern humans. Look at that. Unlike protracting faces of apes and early hominids, the human face is retracted and flatter. Likely influenced. Look, likely, they don't fucking know. That's how y'all are, and that's what y'all are. Likely influenced by dietary changes. Come on with the bullshit. Look at the last paragraph. Homo sapiens are characterized by an orthognostic fucking face. We are not modern humans. We are not Homo sapiens. According to the definition of what a Homo sapien is an orthognostic face. Look at it. Modern humans typically possess an orthognostic straight jaw facial profile where the jaw does not protrude forward of the upper facial skeleton. Evolutionary traits. Over time, human face has become increasingly orthognostic, likely due to dietary change and reduced chewing muscles. Stop it. Modern humans are characterized by an orthognostic facial profile. So let's see who's orthognostic in Africa. Orthography is common in the north of the continent as well as in many East Africans, Ethiopoids. Orthography is also frequent in Khoisan of South Africa. A Somali man retaining the fine features, facial orthognosticism, and soft hair texture of his Cushitic ancestors. A Nilotic Dinka man, the characteristic facial pronoptism, Negro ancestry. Nilo-Saharan, Niger-Congo, Negro ancestry. We're pronoptis. You're orthognostic. How do we have something to do with each other? Ancient Egyptian engravings of an early Cushitic individual and an early Nilotic individual. The contrast in physiognometry between the two is evident, pointing to two different ancestral origins. The Cushitic individual is fine-featured, lean, and loose, wavy hair, mid-side lips, and orthognosticism. The Nilotic individual, kinky hair, markedly pronoptism. The Nilotic is pronoptis, and the Cushite is orthognostic. Evidence, case in point. More evidence, case in point. The African is under the Congoid. It's interchangeable with Negroid. So the origin of our skull puts us in the Congoid, Niger-Congo situation. But the African and the Australian, both is pronoptis. Here we have the American Indian and the European, both orthognostic. So they say the Khoi is orthognostic, the Ethiopian is orthognostic, the whole European is orthognostic. The Asian is orthognostic because the American Indian is Mongoloid. So the European and the Asian is both orthognostic. Here's your evidence. The Kushite and the Indian is both orthognostic. Here we have the Negro skull up top, Sub-Saharan African, pronoptis. It says Negroid, pronoptis. Sub-Saharan African is the Negroid, aka the pronoptis race. and this may ruffle some feathers and shake up some caves.